Hello everyone and welcome. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation. We'll be exploring Mega Goal 2.2, focusing on Unit 10, titled You Are What You Eat. In this session, we'll look at how our food choices impact our health and well-being. We'll cover key concepts about nutrition, healthy eating habits, and how to make better food decisions. I look forward to sharing some useful insights with all of you. Let's get started. Alright, let's get started with our warm-up. Imagine an ice cream cone. Who doesn't love that sweet, cooling treat on a hot day? Next, we have potato chips, a crunchy snack that's become a staple at parties and movie nights. Then there's the popsicle, another icy delight perfect for summer. And of course, cookies, those comforting, sweet baked goods everyone enjoys. Now I want you to think, how do you suppose these food items might have been invented? What stories or accidental discoveries could have led to their creation? As we go through this presentation, keep in mind that many popular foods we enjoy today have fascinating origins, often rooted in experimentation or chance. So, let's explore how these everyday foods came to be and what that tells us about creativity and innovation in the kitchen. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of accidental food discoveries. As you can see on this slide, there are 5 major examples that have shaped our culinary history. These are stories of chance, luck, and sometimes even a bit of serendipity. It's amazing how many well-loved foods we enjoy today were actually discovered by mistake. First, let's talk about the concept itself. Accidental discoveries happen when someone is experimenting or trying to create something else entirely, and unexpectedly, a new ingredient or technique emerges. These moments of surprise often lead to innovations that change the way we eat forever. It's a reminder that sometimes, the best ideas come from happy accidents. As we explore each example, I want you to notice how these discoveries connect to the broader theme of innovation, sometimes born out of mistake, but always resulting in something valuable. Whether it's a new flavor, texture, or method, these accidents have contributed significantly to culinary diversity and creativity. They remind us to stay curious and open-minded in our experiments. Now, think about how these accidental discoveries influence our daily lives. From a chef's perspective, embracing unforeseen results can lead to breakthroughs. For us as consumers, it's about appreciating the surprises and the stories behind our favorite foods. These stories highlight the importance of experimentation and the unexpected turns that can lead to great success. Finally, I encourage you to consider how this theme applies beyond food. How many innovations in life come from unplanned moments? Recognizing the value of accidents can inspire us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and optimism. After all, some of the most delicious discoveries happen when we least expect them. So let's break down the key points on this slide. First, the what. Popsicles are enjoyed by millions of people around the world. They're a universal treat that brings joy across different cultures and ages. Moving to the how, it all started quite simply. Frank Epperson left a bucket of soda outside on a cold night with a mixing stick in it, and it froze solid. That accidental discovery is really the beginning of this story. Next, the when. This happened back in 1905. It's been over a century since Frank's accidental invention. As for the who, it was Frank Epperson himself, the inventor who turned a simple mistake into a worldwide business. This slide is really about illustrating how a small, everyday event, leaving a soda out overnight, can lead to a major innovation. It connects to the overall theme of how ideas can turn into successful businesses, often starting from unexpected moments. It's a great reminder that sometimes, luck and curiosity open the door to big opportunities. So let's talk about the key points that made this story so interesting. First, what exactly happened? Well, customers just fell in love with the product. It became a favorite, especially as an international hot weather dessert. People really connected with it because it was refreshing and delicious. Next, how did it come about? Here's a fun story. When Charles Menches ran out of bowls to serve the ice cream in, a Syrian immigrant stepped in and rolled warm pastry into a cone to hold the ice cream instead. That simple idea turned out to be a game changer and helped popularize the cone shape we still use today. Now, when did this happen? It was back in 1904. a time when ice cream vendors were looking for creative ways to serve their treats and attract more customers. And who was behind this? It was Charles Menches, an ice cream vendor who played a significant role in this story. His ingenuity and the quick thinking of the Syrian immigrant led to the creation of what we now know as the ice cream cone. All of these points tie into the bigger picture of how innovation and customer preferences drive new ideas, helping products evolve and become beloved worldwide. So let's talk about the key points here. First, what exactly happened? Ruth Wakefield, the creator of the chocolate chip cookie, sold her recipe to Nestlé in exchange for a lifetime supply of chocolate chips. That's a pretty sweet deal, literally. This exchange was crucial because it helped popularize the cookie worldwide. Next, how did this invention come about? Well, when Wakefield ran out of baker's chocolate, something she initially planned to use, she decided to substitute broken-up pieces of a chocolate bar. Instead of melting smoothly, these chunks stayed intact, creating little pockets of chocolate within the cookie. That little innovation turned into a game changer. Now, when did all this happen? It was around 1930, a pivotal year in the cookie's history. And who was behind this? Ruth Wakefield, the talented baker and inventor of the recipe. All of these points connect to the broader story of how a simple innovation, adding chocolate chips, transformed baking and became a staple in households around the world. So let's explore the key questions behind this iconic snack. What exactly happened? Well, potato chips became a regular item on the menu and a staple of the global fast food industry. They didn't just appear out of nowhere, they grew into something much bigger. Now, how did this all start? It's quite a story. A picky customer kept complaining that Crum's French fries were too thick. In a moment of mischief, or perhaps to teach a lesson, Crum decided to make the fries even thinner. But surprisingly, the customer loved them. That was the turning point. When did this happen? It was on August 24th, 1853. That's when George Crum, a cranky chef, created what would become the potato chip. And who was involved? It was Crum himself, known for his fiery personality, who crafted this new snack, which eventually transformed the snack industry. This story highlights how a simple act of defiance or improvisation can lead to something revolutionary, tying back to the overall theme of innovation and unexpected success. Let's take a moment to explore some words that describe food so vividly. We have cool, which can refer to a refreshing sensation or even a trendy vibe. Then there's creamy, often used to describe textures that are smooth and rich, like a good cheese or dessert. Chewy is a great way to capture foods that require some effort to bite through, like caramel or certain candies. Moving on, delicious is universal, simply what we all aim for in a good meal. Salty highlights a flavor that can enhance other ingredients and bring out their best qualities. Addictive is a powerful word, emphasizing foods that keep us coming back for more because of their irresistible taste. Finally, crispy describes that satisfying crunch you get from fried foods or fresh vegetables. These adjectives are essential because they help us communicate the sensory experience of food, which is so central to how we enjoy and connect with what we eat. Recognizing these descriptors is key to understanding how food appeals to our senses and influences our preferences. When I mention a stick, I'm talking about the thing you use to hold a popsicle. It's a simple tool, but it plays an important role in how we enjoy frozen treats. The stick supports the popsicle, making it easy to hold and eat without getting our hands all sticky. This small, everyday object actually helps improve our overall experience by providing convenience and comfort. So, even something as simple as a stick connects to the broader idea of how small design choices can make a big difference in our daily lives. When I think of a word that describes a successful business, I might choose crisp. It suggests clarity, precision, and a well-organized operation. A successful business is often sharp and clear in its goals and execution. Now, moving to the next point, I want to find a word that is similar to one used to describe potato chips. That word is booming. It conveys rapid growth, energy, and an exciting upward trajectory, much like a thriving, popular snack. Connecting these ideas, both crisp and booming, emphasize different aspects of business success, one focusing on clarity and quality, the other on rapid growth and momentum. When combined, they paint a picture of a business that's not only well-run but also experiencing dynamic expansion, which ties back into the overall theme of sustainable success and strategic growth. Let's take a look at the word batter. Now, this is a term you'll often hear in the context of baking. It refers to the mixture you use to make delicious treats like cookies and cakes. When you're preparing your batter, you're combining ingredients like flour, eggs, sugar, and liquids to create a smooth, workable mixture. The key point here is that batter is the foundational mixture that transforms into baked goods once it goes into the oven. Its consistency and ingredients can vary depending on what you're baking, but the idea remains the same. It's the essential mixture that, when properly prepared, results in a tasty finished product. Understanding what batter is helps us see how different ingredients come together to create the textures and flavors we love in baked goods. It's a perfect example of how chemistry and culinary arts work hand in hand in the kitchen. This concept ties nicely into the overall theme of how ingredients and processes influence the final outcome of our baking creations. All right, let's look at some words that help us describe people's personalities and tastes. First, we have picky and cranky. These words describe someone who is difficult to satisfy or please. For example, a picky eater might only want to eat certain foods, and a cranky person might be easily annoyed or irritable. It's important to understand these words because they help us paint a clear picture of someone's mood or habits. Next, we see the word delectable, which actually means something is delicious or very tasty. When we say a dessert is delectable, we're expressing that it's not only good but truly enjoyable to eat. Remember, delectable is a positive word, highlighting the pleasure of flavor. Connecting these points to our overall theme, understanding these words helps us communicate more effectively about people's preferences and experiences, whether we're talking about personalities or tastes. So, next time you describe someone's mood or a tasty dish, you'll have the perfect vocabulary to do so confidently. So, to wrap up, I want to share a few fun and interesting stories behind some everyday items and moments. First, there's a story about a boy who left a bucket of soda outside on a cold night with a mixing stick inside. What happened? The soda froze solid. This simple incident highlights how natural elements can unexpectedly create something new. Next, did you know that the ice cream cone was actually invented at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair? It's a great example of innovation born from a big event, where someone came up with a clever idea to make eating ice cream easier and more fun. Then we have Ernest Hamwi, a Syrian immigrant, who rolled up his pastry to create a cone for ice cream. This story shows how cultural influences and personal creativity can lead to popular treats we enjoy today. Moving on, there's a story about a woman who received a lifetime supply of chocolate chips. While not as famous as others, it's a reminder of how small acts or surprises can have lasting impacts, especially in the world of baking and desserts. And finally, a story about a chef named Crum. When a customer complained that his French fries were too soggy, Crum decided to teach him a lesson by making the fries extra crispy. This incident actually led to the creation of the famous French fry style we love today. All of these stories connect to our overall theme of how creativity, invention, and sometimes even simple mistakes or reactions can lead to the delicious and interesting world we enjoy now.